was so funny. We sat down and we were planning. We were doing some of our planning for next year and going over some stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, didn't we just do this?
Yes.
I don't know if y'all are feeling that way, but it's like, oh my gosh, it is like we just started this year. How is it the end of the year?
It came quick. It came for us fast.
It did. I feel like I have so much to do.
I know.
Still,
I know.
for this year,
Yes.
before 2025 starts.
Yeah, 100%. I feel the same way.
Gosh. Well, you don't have any time to do it.
I know. We still have a few more weeks. We still got a few more weeks.
The holiday's going to be here
I know.
in 2 seconds.
I know. It's coming. It's coming right up behind us.
I know. Let me see. Okay, I made a note because I wanted to chit chat about a couple things before we start. But again, 2025 blows my mind.
I know.
Remember, like COVID was 2020. It started.
I know.
And
So crazy.
it's time. You know that thing that they say, time goes faster the older that you get.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was like I'm 1,000 years old because it's going so fast.
I know. I always tell like the high schoolers and stuff, I'm like, it's going to go by so fast. It's going to feel like you just started ninth grade and you're graduating, and then college will go by even faster. And it hasn't slowed down ever since, you know?
I know.
It was like elementary school drug out, and then everything else just sped up.
Remember how long it used to be like, oh my gosh, Christmas will never get
I
here.
know. It used to take forever. Now it's like, slow down, I'm not ready.
I know. I know. I can honestly say I don't think I bought one gift yet.
I have one. I have one.
Is it mine?
No, it's not yours. I have one because it was, I could order it and it
That's
came
right, because
quickly.
I know which one it was
And
because we talked about it
Yeah,
today.
I actually don't have it yet. It's coming. So it doesn't count till it shows up.
I'm pretty excited. My husband, I just texted him right before the live, and he said when I get home, there's going to be a package on the door for me.
Oh, no, that's exciting.
I know. How exciting. I can't see what it is.
Oh, do you think you know what it is?
No, I have no clue. It's so
Can't even
funny.
guess?
It's so cute because it's not like him to
Surprise you like
surprise
that
me and
with
do
that?
without without a holiday or a thing.
I know, and he got you something right before Christmas.
I know.
Sometimes
I'm
like
what is
you
it?
gotta hold that back for
I
a Christmas
know.
gift, but that's sweet.
But he was funny. He was like, "Don't get too excited till you open it." I'm
Aw.
like, "What?" Because I'm like, "Just a present for me." Oh.
Yay!
I'm excited. So Rob, thank you, honey. I love you.
That's
I'm
so
excited
sweet.
to go. I'm excited to go. Open
I
it.
know.
So whatever it is, it's the thought.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's talk about last week. It was so weird because we didn't do roundtable. I'm sorry, not roundtable. We didn't do live Wednesday Night
know.
Live because it was the night before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Not the night before Christmas. The night before Thanksgiving.
And all through the house, everyone was stirring.
Everyone was
Even the
getting
mouse.
ready for yummy pumpkin pie.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think. I don't think did I have pumpkin pie? I don't think I got pumpkin pie. on
Really?
Thanksgiving. And that's my
Isn't
favorite.
that your favorite?
That's
Yeah.
my favorite, pumpkin pie. I'm trying to think. I don't think I did.
Oh, that's interesting. I know you had some. Did you have some here?
No, I didn't even.
You
I ended
didn't?
up not eating it here either.
Oh my gosh,
I
that's
know.
very surprising.
That's very sad.
It's sad.
It's sad.
It is sad.
I'm trying to think. Maybe I had some at my mom's. I don't know. If I did have pumpkin pie, it was not memorable.
Well, that's sad.
But I don't think I had pumpkin pie. A lot of times, like for Thanksgiving or stuff like that, I don't make it to pie because everything else is so good.
I know.
And then you're like full. Ugh.
It's hard to eat anything else.
I know.
I had. I always make Nacho Mama's banana pudding. It's like a Paula Deen recipe.
She keeps telling me that. I have never had it.
Oh, I'll have to make some. I think. No, I don't think.
I've
No.
never had it.
I don't. I was thinking, did I make it for here? But I don't think I did. But it's so yummy, and so I did have. I do. I usually, if I make
Yummy,
something,
yummy,
it's
yummy.
not that great to eat, but that was pretty good. It was good to eat
I
and
remember
good
putting
to
my
make.
do not disturb before my phone rings.
Oh.
Right?
Yes.
So Thanksgiving was fabulous. We all
Yeah.
made it through and we were talking how Thanksgiving at the end of the year, at the end of the month, and then now Christmas is so much faster.
It is.
It's just 1 week, but
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
I know it's going to be that way again next year.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was looking at the calendar, and yeah, it's coming. Christmas is coming fast.
Yes. I know. Like after Thanksgiving, somebody says we only have X amount of weekends before Christmas.
Mhm.
3, 2, 3.
I think there's 3 weeks before it hits. I think. I'm not really sure.
It's crazy.
I mean, I think it's still a 4-week gap.
Yeah.
I think, but it's. I guess I don't know. I don't know what made it so fast this year. Just the way the days fell.
I don't know. And we haven't talked about this. Our mouse saga. We still have. We suspect we still might have a mouse in this house.
Oh.
The dogs were barking at one of the bins that we have. And they were going nuts.
They wouldn't leave it alone.
And I went to move the bin, just poke it with my foot. And Rocco was like, he snapped at my foot. And Rocco never snaps.
No.
No, that's just not him.
No.
And I'm like, oh my God, he's trying to protect me from this mouse.
Yeah, and he didn't even like snap. It was just kind of like a little
"Get your foot
nibble.
out of the
Yeah,
way."
yeah.
But it was, but I was like, and we did it again, and you were doing it.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, hey, y'all keep your,
Yeah.
he's trying to protect us
Yeah.
from whatever is
What is
out
in
there.
there? He's like, no, you don't did it. I'll get it.
I know. So thank you, Rocco, for
Yes.
doing that. But we'd put out some traps and we'd put out a couple things. And man, this mouse is just
All where the dogs couldn't get to it. Just FYI.
yeah. And we closed the door, but on all the stuff. But man, this mouse is like, is he like lifting weights back there?
I don't know
somewhere?
what's going on. I don't know.
He needs to go.
I don't know.
He needs
Yeah.
to be relocated.
Yes, 100%. We're done with you, little Mr. Mouse.
That's right. And the dogs, though, it drives them crazy.
I know. They're like, there's something in here that shouldn't be, and it's got to go.
I know. So hopefully
We'll catch it.
we'll get
soon.
the mouse man, the mouse exterminator here soon.
Yep.
We'll get him. Ugh. So we don't have to see it and
I know. Ugh.
we're little chickens.
I am big time.
So let's see. Okay, I know one thing again I wanted to chit chat about. It was so funny. I thought, man, if somebody asked me, what are the last 2 things that you Googled? It would just be hilarious. I remember one because I want to talk about one, but then I Googled something else too. And I thought somebody's going to like this. It would just be so funny.
Yeah, I looked something up the other day, and I thought, I hope nobody ever sees that. I don't remember what it was.
Okay, I took a picture of this because I was so shocked. I heard something and I thought I've got to see if this is true. So I heard on a reel that crows, the bird
Oh, gosh.
can hold grudges. And I thought, no way. So I looked it up, and lo and behold, if you did not know this, and it's so funny, I wonder who researches this and how do they find this out? It says, yes, crows can hold grudges against humans for up to 17 years. That's a
long time.
grudge.
How long do they live?
I don't know. I didn't Google that.
Like, they can hold a grudge that long. How long can they live?
I know. And how do you know it's
That it's
17,
17
years?
years.
That's like a long-term study, right? It says crows have exceptionally long-term memories and can recall specific human faces. Social learning. Crows can share knowledge about dangerous humans with other crows. Like somehow
That's
they have
interesting.
a human alert warning.
They're
I don't
like,
know.
that person or that thing is evil.
It's so cute. Our dogs are cute over there. And it says revenge. Crows can remember negative experiences and enact revenge on those who wronged them. For example, in one study, crows would swoop, scream, and peck at the wearer of a mask that was associated with a negative experience. So I read that, I was like, that is insane.
When you said that, I said, I think I've heard that, but do you know where I heard that? It was on the show Big Bang Theory.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have this one episode where he's trying to give a grant away, and one person, they study crows, and she talks about how they hold grudges, and they work at like Cal U or something like that. And anyway, so yeah, apparently I didn't realize it was true.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was like a real thing, But
apparently it is a thing.
Yeah.
And that is crazy because like if you think about us as humans, I thought it was so funny. Like people hold grudges, and you and I were laughing about that. We're like, if we know somebody that's holding a grudge, we have a new term here at the ministry. If you're a grudge holder, we're going to be like, don't be such a crow.
don't be like a crow.
Crows hold grudges. Are you holding grudges for 17 years? Look at
Are you a crow?
Isabella's like looking at me like the dogs think I'm talking to them. How funny. So that was just crazy to me.
Yeah.
When I read that.
That's
I was
interesting.
like, God made the world such an interesting place. I was just like, man, God, you are just funny.
Yeah.
And so, moral of the story, don't make a crow mad. It's coming for you.
That's right.
Like, and crows, they're those little birds the little parking lot birds, right?
I think so. The black ones. Yeah.
Man, don't make them mad.
I mean, there was one restaurant where you could sit outside, and those crows, they were brave. They would literally just, even while you're eating, just walk up to your plate and grab a French fry. I'm like, they weren't even afraid. But I'm glad I didn't shoo it off or be mean to it. They might have chased me to my car.
It would. We were laughing. If you don't like somebody, like that experiment talks about wearing a mask. Man, don't make somebody mad. They might wear a mask of you and then make the crows mad.
I wonder if it's a smell or if it's a sight. I don't know. Now I have more questions.
I know, so do I. But no, I mean, they went after the mask.
Oh, that's
of
right.
that person.
That's right.
So,
that's true.
I don't know. Don't make the crows mad. And don't become a crow. Don't hold bitterness in your heart. Don't
like
hold
the
a
crows.
grudge for 17 years. Man, that's...
I know. It makes me think crows must be mean or unhappy or, you know.
Mm-hmm. My mom is terrified of birds, so I sent her that. I said, you were right to be worried.
It's got to benefit them in some way in nature to be that way. Like, there's got to be a reason. I don't know. Now I have more questions.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I saw that. And there was something else, and I can't for the life of me Google, but I'm always Googling weird stuff.
Yeah.
That I hear. But to me, like, that is totally fascinating.
It is.
That an animal.
Like a porcupine, there's a reason they are porcupines.
Yes.
You know?
That they have
I don't know.
Protective.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What could grudge holding do for them?
I know. But God created crows.
Yeah, he did.
It'd be interesting. Well, I have a lot of questions.
Yes,
for
me
God.
too. I know.
So enough about the crows. we need to know more information. Maybe we'll have to give an update as we research and give more. And I wish I could remember what else it was I Googled, because it was 2 things in a row that I Googled. And I thought, that is crazy, Angie. That's crazy. But this weekend was fun. I was gone for Roundtable. You did Roundtable.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard so many fabulous things about Christina doing Roundtable.
Like what? No, just teasing.
Like,
thank you.
They said that it was very impactful and they loved it.
Yay.
And yeah,
I'm just teasing.
just really helped a lot of
But
people.
that's
It was
good.
on gratitude.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was very
It was
grateful
fun.
you were able to to do that as I went.
Yeah, it was great. Me too. It was fun. I think it was a good night, and I think everybody shared, and we talked about gratitude, and we actually talked about how, you don't have much more time in this year, but you can still use it. You can utilize it and to operate in a practice of gratitude, and just see how your end of year can shift even very quickly.
My gosh. Gratitude is just so important with our attitude and our outlook on life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good reminder for me too to
Yeah.
make sure I'm practicing that
Yeah.
every day.
You said something that was interesting when we were talking about it, and we were going back over it, and I thought it was a neat point that you pointed out. And it was that there's pivotal moments in our life where gratitude comes naturally.
Yeah. Just bubbles up.
Yes. And then, but because you're right, because the rest of the times we have to be really intentional about, like, some days you have to work for gratitude.
Yeah, you do.
To think of something. But I thought that was a neat point that you made. There's just sometimes, like, I think when we think of gratitude, if something tragic happens or something exciting, we're like, it's easy to have gratitude and it just kind of swells up. And But usually we have to work at it.
Yeah, even simple things like it could be something like somebody grabs the door for you as you're walking in a building.
Oh, thank you.
You know, yeah. I mean, somebody pays for your coffee that day. I mean, it could be something so small,
Yeah.
especially if like a stranger does it or something, because you have no expectations from
Yeah.
strangers, you know? And, so yeah, it does. It naturally comes up. But when you walk into a difficult situation, if you have that practice of gratitude, it really can shift how you experience walking through that, and how you will see the Lord in your situation far more easily.
Yeah.
If you have that practice of gratitude, especially on days and times that you just don't want to.
Yep. Good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Job.
Thanks.
job.
It was a
Good
team
job
effort.
with that. So the reason you were doing roundtable is because I was out of town.
Yes.
And just to talk a little bit about this, especially anybody that's in the Brownsboro, Tyler, Canton area, our pastors helping start a school up there. It's called the Radiant Life School of Ministry.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it's so exciting. So they had an open house, and I went up there because I'll be teaching one of the classes up there, and it's gonna be so fun and so exciting.
I know.
But I tell you what, the Radiant Church up there, it was, if you're in that area, you got to go to that church, because it was just a wonderful place. And I'll tell you what, you know what was really inspiring for me?
What?
The youth are so on fire.
That's so cool.
Up there.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
It was it was neat. It was like youth takeover, you know, where youth does everything.
Yeah.
They were doing the worship, and man, it was just amazing, all the things that the youth were doing, and to hear them lead prayer and to do worship. And it was just it was awesome. It was an awesome day, because we went to church before the open house was later that night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but they're just doing neat things up in that area, and just really building a fabulous culture of just letting Jesus love on people.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I've heard a little bit about the school and stuff, and I can't wait to hear more. I can't wait to see how it goes. It's going to be amazing.
It is. It's going to be really awesome.
It's
And
going to change a lot of lives too.
It really will. I believe that it 100% will.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to chit chat about? What is your chit chat? I did a lot of chit chat. I had a lot. I go away for a couple days, and
Well, it's a lot.
gosh, I
yeah.
know. Well, I guess it's been a week too. I saved my chit chat up for a week
that's true, because we didn't talk last week.
for Thanksgiving, because we didn't go live.
It was good. I don't know that I have a lot more to chit chat about. We kind of talked a little bit about it, and I had family in town for Thanksgiving, but everybody's gone back. Boo.
Bye, Andrew. She told me she misses you.
I know, I do. It was so good to see him. I wish I could have spent more time with him, but next time he'll be back for Christmas in just a few weeks, so I'm excited. I'll get to see him then.
You know, what was funny is when I was listening to the youth, I remember, when they were doing the praise and worship, you know who I thought about?
My niece? Yeah.
I thought about your niece.
Yeah, when you were talking about it, I thought about her too. She has picked her college that she's going to go to. I can't remember where it is. It's about 5 hours away. It's in a town I've never heard of, because I'm not from Texas and I haven't heard of a lot of places. But it's in this little small town, and it's this little small school, and they were homeschooled growing up, and they really lean more towards, like, they have a lot of kids there that have been homeschooled. And
where's it at? I want to know.
I'll find out, and I'll let everybody know next week. But it's a university. It's a Christian university, and she got a scholarship, and she's just really excited. And you know,
we shouldn't be announcing where she's going. But
she's neat though. She loves God, and
she does.
She
she
wanted.
Sings, and does she play the
she
guitar?
She does sing.
Too?
She played the drums. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I knew she did something.
She
played
doesn't
something.
anymore, but she did for a little while. Play the drums. She probably could still.
But I remember you showing me a picture of her on stage, or maybe it was a video, and she just had it's just so neat. Hallelujah. Like her face was so peaceful, and it was neat when I saw the kids, the Radiant youth on stage. It made me think
she would love that. That'd be right up her alley, I think. So and it did make me think of her when you were talking about them. She just, I can just see her, just moving towards the Lord. And it's really beautiful. But
It
she's
is.
always had that heart. And the other kids do too, but she's becoming an adult. So it's fun to see her
Yeah.
stepping into that. Yeah, it's neat. It's exciting. It's exciting to see the youth on fire and to know that
Oh my
generation is
gosh.
coming and
Just
what they're
yeah.
going to do,
I love it.
Me
Totally,
too.
totally love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, all your nieces and nephews are just so cute.
Oh yeah, they're awesome. They're really
Yeah.
awesome kids, and it's going to be neat to see what each one of them kind of step
How
into as
what
they get
develop.
older. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. It's going to be fun. I did take her to a late movie over Thanksgiving. They didn't. None of the kids didn't want to go, but she did. And we got home. We were driving home at like 1 a.m. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I've never been out this late." And I said, "You're going to college next year." She's like, "I think I'm going to be that kid that's like, are we going to be home by midnight? Because if not, I'll drive." She's like, the next day she was tired, but she also works a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
so.
you and we're kind of night owls.
I know, that's what I told her. I was like,
We're used
this is
to-
kind of my life.
Yeah.
Because we work late and stuff. And anyway, it was cute. It was really cute.
That's
to
really neat.
see her
Yeah.
be like, "Oh my gosh, this is so late."
I know. Be like, did your aunt just outlast you?
I know. I told, and the next day too, I was like, "I'm good. I have energy." But she was like on the couch. But I'm sure she had a million other things she did that week too.
Yeah.
But she's so cute. They all are. They're fun. None of them wanted to go. I was like, you know what? If my aunt would have asked me when I was a teenager if I wanted to go to a late movie, yeah.
Yes, twice.
Yes. No, I don't care what we're seeing. But
Yeah.
no.
Got a little stitch in my neck. You ever sleep on your neck wrong? And it's
Yes.
just kind of, it's not nothing wrong with it, but it's just, like a
like-
little stiff.
Yeah.
Doesn't turn.
And every
like
time
it's-
you move it,
you're like,
you
oh,
catch
there it is. There
yeah.
it is. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. But
That's all my chit chat.
2025 is coming for you.
Yeah, it is.
And for us, really, really, really super fast.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff, we'll have some more lives before the end of the year. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the, and we won't have it on Christmas Day because it'll be Christmas Day.
Right.
And we'll be celebrating
And-
Christmas and then New Year's
Right. Mhm.
Day. So it'll be weird not to have a
It will
live, a
be.
Wednesday. We won't have Wednesday Night Live on Christmas Day. And we might post like a little video or something like that. That'll be fun.
We've got one more left for the year. I think we have one more.
One more or two more.
Is it two?
Is
Okay.
it two? Hopefully it's two. Don't tell me.
Oh no, we do have two more. I
Okay.
don't know why I was thinking one, but
Woohoo.
yeah, we have two more after this. Yay! Okay, yay.
So I just wanted y'all to start thinking, even amongst the holidays and everything's hustle and bustle and going quickly. And we talked about how to survive the holidays and not go crazy and how to thrive during the holidays. I really want y'all to begin to think about what you want to happen next year. And I think you can do this at any time during the year, but we tend to get a little sentimental, the radio stations and stuff play, and then, on all the platforms they have like little, like the best songs of 2024 or the best of blah, blah, blah 2024. And so we tend to get a little sentimental, I think, at the end of the year as we enter into the new year. And I just want everybody to begin to think about, what do you want to do next year? Because the truth is that time is going to pass no matter what. You're going to be at the same point next time, this point next year, and either you have done something with your dreams or you won't have. And that's scary, isn't it?
It is.
To think that, I would say with regret. I think a lot of people experience regret over the years. Like, why didn't I do this? Or why didn't I do that? And, but you don't have to do anything. This isn't like pressure, but I really want you to get in touch with what your dreams are, what your goals are. What are those things that God has spoken to you? And maybe you're a little bit scared, or you're a little bit like, oh gosh, I don't know if I could do that. That feels a little bit big. I think people don't realize you can make small little steps. We talk about here all the time that in order to live outside your comfort zone, all you have to do is put a little pinky toe outside of your normal comfort zone, but that gets additive, that builds up. Think about 365 days a year. If every day you did something that was just an teensy bit uncomfortable, by the end of the year you have 365 days of doing that,
Right.
and your comfort bubble has expanded. And I just think that's so important, even just for your brain, for your spiritual life, for your soul life, that kind of constantly just increasing your comfort level. It's huge. They talk about like learning different languages, improving relationships, like stuff like that. It really does enhance your life. It enhances your brain, your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health. All that is tied together.
Yeah.
So I just, as we say, 2025 is coming for you. What do you want 2025 to look at? I always say I think it's really neat to have like a theme of the year. What do you want the theme of your year to be? I know, and it could be something practical, and it could be something not practical. I know that I had some people talk about before, they wanted their year to be the year of vacations, right? And so the year before they had kind of saved, and then on that year, the year that came, they just took a ton of vacations.
Nice.
And just made memories after memories after memories. Maybe, and it just depends on where you're at. Maybe this is the year of saving for a house. Maybe this is the year of, I'm going to do certain things like I'm going to get seed oils out of my diet and little things like that. I'm going to start, this to be health positive, or it can be spiritual. Every day I want to sit down. I'm not talking about doing something in a legalistic way, but I'm saying just incorporate small, teensy little changes. And they add up to huge changes. So I want to talk about a couple areas in our life just to kind of get your minds thinking and your minds working to say, okay, what do I want from these areas? One of the areas that I put down is relationships. Now, this can be personal, your romantic relationships. This can be your friendships. This can be your acquaintances. It can be anything. But when I think about relationships, one of the things that I think about is, and it's so funny because we were talking about our workshops for next year. And to me, like, it's always important to grow, like in the areas of communication and things like that. But in relationships, what do you want your relationships to look like next year? Are you satisfied with your relationships? Are you wanting more relationship connection in your life? Do you feel imbalanced with your relationship? Sometimes we can get relationship imbalance. You know what I mean? Like we just have too much of one kind of relationship. And so I just encourage you, think about, are you happy with your relationships? We were talking a little bit about that earlier today. What were we talking about?
I don't remember specifically.
I had to put her on the
Earlier?
spot.
I know,
I put
I
her on
don't-
the spot.
I don't remember.
We talked about, like, don't get me over here.
Okay.
But we talked about, like, for single people, you're single.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what would you like to see or not see in your dating life next year?
I would like to see one that exists.
That's a good goal.
That'd be great if just it happened. No, somebody told me about a show. I was just talking to somebody the other day, and they mentioned this show, and I haven't seen it, so I don't want to say the name of it yet.
Okay,
but it's about
we
people
don't
who
endorse
date
it.
later, and in life. And so I thought maybe I'll watch that, and it'll give me some inspiration. Not that I think these people are like further along generationally, but maybe that'll inspire me to,
I'm telling you.
be like, okay, I can do it. I think a lot of times with dating for me, and this will be something I'll have to, like, maybe I'll break through next year. It's like, I feel like maybe, I got to do this first. Well, I got to do that first. So I got to do this first.
That's a slippery
and
slope.
that just pushes it back. So
Yeah.
And so that's something probably to change my mindset next year about that. I have to have my ducks in a row before.
No.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Because one thing that's neat, I love about you is that you are looking for your person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I'd say a goal in relationship, I would say be like Christina. Like sometimes in romantic relationships, people just want somebody.
Yes. Yeah.
And then they kind of wonder why am I having all these failed relationships and things like that? But one thing I've always, like I said, admired about you is that you want your person.
Yes.
You're not just interested in a placeholder.
No.
You're not interested in somebody just to take up space in your life.
Right.
You're like, no, I'm looking for my forever person.
Yeah, and I want somebody that wants that, who wants to be in a committed long-term. Because I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, some people don't want that. Some people do,
and that's okay.
Yeah, 100%, totally okay.
Yeah,
but I there are people who they want that. They want that just locked in, me and you. Let's do life, and they're not even distracted by other things. They're not trying to date. They don't want to, and that's what I'm looking for because that's my mindset.
That's right. Because you don't want anybody pulling you. Off your path. You don't want that.
Yeah, I know.
You want somebody to walk with you on yours.
Right.
And, there's people out there that are single and look for something. Be like Christina. Look for somebody that will do life with you.
Yeah.
And like I said, not just a placeholder. I'm a firm believer in that if you just get a placeholder, then your person can just walk past you.
Yeah.
Like you're not looking. We call it snacking. If you just snack date, then you're not hungry for a real date and you're just burning time with people that you're not even really interested in.
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with my life. I'd love to have someone to do life with.
Yeah.
I do think that makes us grow, and I think it makes life more enjoyable, and I just think it's just, it's just more fun, and I love to have a family and all of that, but I definitely want somebody that's going to add to, and then I want to add to their life too. So, I'm like, I won't settle. Why would I settle? Let's just take our time and get there.
And that's why, that's one aspect of relationships. Maybe you have children and you want to improve your relationships.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to improve your relationship with the Lord. When you think about the goal areas, relationships are just a huge part of them. And what kind of relationships do you want to build? You have to be intentional. Relationships, you have to be very intentional.
You do.
About that because you have to carve out space. You have to carve out just the honoring of the different types. And I think that for all of us, we kind of evolve in what our idea of relationships are. I think when we grow up and we watch movies, don't watch movies and think about that's relationships. But we all kind of get brainwashed. We have a lot of people that come to the ministry and they have this idea of what relationships should be, and it has nothing, Jesus is going to complete you. A person is not going to complete you. A job isn't going to complete you.
Right.
But they're selling this.
Yes.
These ideas. And then people are wondering why they're so miserable in relationships. Your spouse can't be God to you. Your coworker can't be God to you. Your children can't be God to you. And so when we think of the area of relationships, I just think this is a huge one that people have to be very intentional about in getting and asking God to give you an idea of, okay, God, what is a friend? What is a spouse? What is a child? What are those relationships? What a kingdom relationship with people supposed to look like?
Right.
So I just think that's a huge area.
Yeah.
Another area that I would encourage you to think of for next year is spiritual growth. Spiritual growth is huge, and it can look so different for each person.
Yeah. I
don't think there's just a cookie cutter thing. Like you need to pray 16 hours a day. You need to read your Bible the rest of the day. You need to do A, B, and C. I think we get caught up in a checklist. And to me, when I think about spiritual growth, I really think about again, back to relationship, developing that personal relationship, getting the to-do list out of the way, and just being in his presence, and just being like saying, God, I want to really know who you are. If you're going to grow spiritually, you're going to have to probably get rid of a lot of ideas that you how you think God is. We love the Father ladder around here.
Yeah.
Because with the Father ladder, you can begin to make these connections about, wow, how my earthly relationships reflect up on the Trinity. And sometimes they have to be really healed because we begin to project our earthly relationships up there. So for spiritual growth, I think, it's not always about like, let's start a prayer journal. Let's start a gratitude. I'm not making fun of those because I
Right.
think for some people that is the answer.
Yeah.
But I think that you have to scratch the surface a little bit deeper and ask him. I always have this idea like of whatever the answer is, if I've thought of it, it's probably not it, because God has some pretty creative ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants you to take walks with him. Maybe he wants you to, to bake with him. Like there's just, people think it's supposed to be a certain way how you're supposed to spiritually grow. Maybe he wants you to take a class. Maybe he wants you to step out in faith in some areas, and you've just been, it's kind of been bubbling up and brewing in you, but you're like, oh, that's crazy. I can't do that. Or, maybe he's encouraging you to go to church. Maybe he's encouraging you to get involved somewhere. And I just think those are so important ways to grow spiritually, but I think it has to be from the Father.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you say has been the biggest impact on your spiritual growth? What activity, what connects you to the Father in a way that has surprised you? A million questions in the one question.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
I don't know if I should say this. Maybe. Honestly, for me, one of the things that's really surprised me was like when I started to pray in tongues.
Yes. No, absolutely.
That was,
it's like powerful.
yeah, that really, even now, it'll really surprise me how much of a difference
Just
that
breaks
makes.
things in the atmosphere.
Yeah,
and just,
it's really surprising. Yeah, that is probably the thing that most surprised me that actually really has impacted.
Yeah.
I don't know, my spiritual life. As
Yeah.
far as my spiritual growth, I mean, I don't know. I mean, everything. I mean, it'd be hard to pick one thing, but that probably was the most surprising.
It really does. And I always say to people that, like, if you need if you need like extra power in what you're trying to for a breakthrough, things like that, man, when you learn praying, when you learn how impactful praying in tongues is. Like I don't know about y'all, but I grew up, some people it's very normal. Some people it's like, that is weird and they just shut us off.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, like the background that I grew up in, it was like,
oh, me too.
Like, it was so foreign. I didn't even learn about it until I went to a non-denominational church.
Oh, me
like
too.
they didn't, I mean, they just skipped right over that part in the Bible.
I know.
And, but gosh, just how powerful and what a beautiful thing that it is.
Yeah, that was really surprising.
I'd say another thing for you probably is worship.
Yeah, I thought of that too. That's music has always been kind of there, but worship is a big deal. I mean, I really experience a lot in worship, and not in like a legalistic way, but just that intentionality, and there's just something powerful in it, especially like with specific songs. Man, it reminds you of things. If I'm going through a really hard time, I'll make sure that I really listen to it a lot, and that's just because I remember one time I was like, I just need these words to get into me, but I was in such a difficult place. I was like, I can't sit and read the Bible or read a devotional. And so it was like the most powerful way to just kind of get those words, because what you think about, what you look at, what you watch, it all impacts you.
It does.
So I was like, I need these words inside my head. You know, that
it is.
What about you? What do you feel like is most impactful for your spiritual growth?
Well, I would say for me, I like even just driving up there this Saturday, like I just love being alone with God. I just love time with him, and especially, like, it sounds weird, but driving, I love driving, and I love talking to him when I'm driving, and I love listening to sermons, to books, to things like that. So a lot of things like that. Like I get a lot out of, when we do the 63-day challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're finding videos for and gosh, we think about that for this next year.
I forgot about that.
But what we do is we have 63 videos and we source them from different places. But there's just something that for me to hear other people talk about God, to hear other people teach things, to me, like it just expands my mind. And it's like, wow, I never really thought about it from that angle. And so I love to hear people talk about God. I love to hear books talk about God.
Yeah.
So that really, it just really like is oomph. And then just spending time alone, and because you can hear something and then it's like, oh my God, I never thought about it that way. And I think it's Bill Johnson out of Bethel that talks about how, like when we talk about God, how the angels come to love, they love to come and listen.
Yeah.
And I think that, can you imagine, like right now, there's angels all around us, just loving to hear us talk about the Father and loving to learn about him and his nature. And it's just beautiful.
What's so neat is he never ends. Like, it's a never ending well, and so you can never learn enough.
No,
you can never get to the end. You can. The angels, they know him, have known him for years, and
I know
they still learn about
they're just
who he is,
in awe, and hang on words that we speak about.
About
Father.
him.
Yeah,
That's really neat.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I would really encourage you in the area of spiritual growth. Like even like we're talking about ways in which we connect with God, ways in which, just bring revelation and things like that. I think sometimes we go through seasons where God wants to change up how he speaks to us, how he connects with us. And I think that can feel like some people describe it as, I just don't feel close to God, or I feel like he's not speaking to me. I feel like, and I always tell people, for one, he's always talking to you, always speaking to you. So begin to ask different questions about it. Maybe he's trying to change the way in which he speaks to you because he wants you to learn a different language, in talking to him. So God is never, ever ignoring you. God is he's never not speaking to you.
Yeah.
So that's just a beautiful way if you think about how you connect with him. Okay, gosh, we have so many on here, and we don't have enough time. But I'm going to go over. Let's see. How about learning? I'm a huge.
Yeah, you are.
I love learning. Absolutely love learning. And I'd say that's an area. Do you have goals? Whether it's a traditional way of learning, my gosh, you can learn anything on YouTube.
Oh, I know. University.
Yeah. It's absolutely true. I remember there was one time I was trying to figure out how to roll a spring roll, and I bet I can learn on YouTube, and you sure can.
Yep.
Like anything you think of, you can learn, and there's so much out there. So I just believe there's something in us that, God created such a fascinating world for us to live in. And to be able to get curious, even like the crow thing that we were talking about. Hopefully we educated you a little bit.
That's fun.
Tonight. It might seem like a random fact, but gosh, how much care and just specialness at which God created our world, and then each one of the creatures in it. And so I just say, learning, it just expands your mind, and when your mind expands it, I think you can't help but expand your faith. You can't just even just learning about the crow. It just, to me, it just points back to God. God, you are so fascinating. There's just so much in this world. We were kind of talking about, in the world, there is a lot of darkness.
Yeah.
There is a lot of heaviness. There's a lot of things like that. But you know what there's more of? There's more of God in
Yeah.
the world than there is anything else.
Yeah.
And to be able, but you have to have the eye, you have to be looking for it. You have to like be intentional about it. Kind of like when we're talking about with the gratitude.
Yeah.
When you look for things to be grateful for, you will find things to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Just like, in your home, and act like every time around the dinner table, everybody has to say what they're grateful for. And I don't mean that in a cheesy little, oh, what are you grateful for? I'm saying seriously, because what you're doing is you're training your kids to look for good. You're training your kids. If you know you have to show up at the end of the day and pick out one small thing, during the day, you're looking for that. And even if it's just a conversation between you and God, and say, God, in the evening, I'm going to thank you for one thing.
Right.
Every night before I go to bed, I'm going to thank you for something. Then you have that mindset where you're thinking of it all throughout the day. And you're like, okay, could it be this, or be this, or could it be this? And what's neat is when you have multiple things.
Yeah.
And you're like, God, I if I have to pick one thing, I don't know. I had so many good things happen today. And some days, some days are heavy days, but I promise you, there's always something in there to be grateful for. And I call it learning like when you expand your mind like that, you're learning new things to be grateful for. You're learning new things that build your faith. You're learning new ways to run your race. So I always think learning is a huge way, whether it's traditional learning, whether it's, you're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read a book a month.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to read one book this year. There's no shame in rereading books. There's some books that I'm like, I know I read that book every year. And I just encourage you to do that.
I have to put myself in places where it's like forced learning. I like to learn. I love to learn.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to seek it, I have to like sign up for a class or join something. I have to put myself in a position where it's like forced in a way. I mean, I still have to make the commitment to go, but
that's being
always a good way to do it.
About placing your mind in that place.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like with exercise. How does somebody, a little fuzzy, there's everybody has to push themselves just a little bit. And you're right, like being intentional, like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put myself in this position so I can learn it.
Yeah.
This year we did our finance series.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
It was totally amazing.
It was.
We did emotions and money, then we did kingdom finances, and then we did investing 101. And it was the way that we ended up doing it was boom, boom, boom.
Right back to back.
Oh my
Yep,
gosh.
all three.
It was a grind, but oh my
It
gosh.
was.
Like, don't you just feel freer?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I have so much more information. I feel freer. I feel more understanding. I just feel 100%. Like I the only way I can describe it best is to say that my financial future will forever be different and forever be changed because I did those classes. Like I see
three courses that were built one on another.
100% different trajectory.
Game changer.
My kids' lives will be different. Even my nieces and nephews. I'm like, we need to talk about this. Let's talk.
Yeah.
It will totally change the trajectory of my financial future.
Yes.
And so, oh my gosh, I can't imagine if I didn't do that.
I know.
So amazing classes, amazing.
Yeah. And it's neat because like I love that you shared with your nieces and nephews, and just, everybody in the class just was able to go share. And it was really neat because we had 3 different instructors, and each one brought something different to the table, and just the information is just amazing.
I mean, it's life-changing.
It is.
Yeah.
So when you think about like how to learn, or maybe it's like you want to learn a new hobby. Maybe it's you want to learn how to cook. Maybe there's so many different ways. Maybe you want to learn Greek, and just put yourself in the position. I like what you said. It is like the gym, in which sometimes you have to set yourself up for success and be like, okay, no, we're not. I
have to show up to this.
Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna do it because if we feel like it at that moment, but we're gonna not force, but kind of force. You be intentional about it. So you set yourself up where you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one more before we end it. God, there's so many. Okay, I'm gonna pick emotional development, because that's a lot of what we do here. And emotional development, what I'd kind of say about that is ask yourself, how are you feeling about your emotional coping mechanisms, your coping skills? We see here a lot. How many times do you see somebody's life that is just going, I'm sorry, it's like a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And then they learn a few tools and their lives completely turn around.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean everything's perfect. Doesn't mean everything's going to go right. But if you can learn some coping skills and you put yourself in a community that will support you and that lifts you up, it's like a game changer for your entire life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Change it'll, again, the trajectory of everything will be different.
Yes. Like maybe think about it, like with the emotional development, maybe you have anger issues. And usually what's funny is it's not usually what you think it is.
Yeah.
Like people will come in for they'll say, you know what, I don't manage my anger very well. And then what they'll realize is the anger is just the cover for what's really going on. What's really going on is they don't deal with the pain in their life.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't have pain. I'm just mad all the time.
Yeah.
No, that's not really how that works. And so, maybe you have a hard time connecting with people. And there's things that people are like, it's become so normalized in their life. I don't even think sometimes people realize that their life can be different.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just like, I don't have great relationships. That's just how I am.
Yeah.
No, that's not. That's not how God wired you. God wired you for communication. He wired you for community and relationship. And sometimes, just how we grow up is, and it's not like parent bashing or, where you grew up when, but if you grew up in the jungle, you have jungle culture.
Yeah.
And so if you're not living in a jungle culture, you live somewhere else, you have to learn different ways of thinking, different ways of doing things.
Yeah.
Something works until it doesn't. And if you have something in your life that's not working anymore, because a lot of times things will work, when you're a kid and you don't have any control over your life. And if you just learn that, oh, wow, if I ignore my problems, then I'm not, you kind of isolate yourself from your problem and you wall it off and it's over here. You're not necessarily always living in the idea, okay, this is a problem over here. But then as you get older, if you ignore things, they usually get bigger. But as a child, sometimes you can ignore things because you don't have any power to do anything. So it feels better when you just don't deal with it. But as an adult, it doesn't really work the same anymore.
Yeah.
So that's an example of something works until it doesn't. And so we're pretty much out of time, but I want to encourage everybody, if there's an area in your life that you want to have some meaningful movement in, you can do it. And it just takes a little bit. And it's crazy how it picks up momentum.
Yeah.
Like you pick up, even just in the area of emotional development, you pick up one coping, skill. And then you're like, oh, wow, I've gained so much freedom for this. So you're like, let me try another one.
Yep.
And then you get another one and another one and another one. And oh my gosh.
There's just so many options that people just don't know are on the table.
Yes.
It's like there's a curtain over them. And I feel like we just come along and look, this is an option. Look. And they're like, I didn't think I could do that. I didn't think I could
You're
make
like,
that choice.
I picked door number 3.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great door to pick.
I didn't know that door was there.
I know. You just selected emotional regulation.
Yeah.
Your life will be forever improved.
Yeah. I mean, how many times people say, I can do that?
I know.
Yeah, you can do that.
You can do that.
Yeah.
We talk about that, especially with boundaries.
Yes.
People are like, what?
I can do that. I
You
can
can
say
say
that?
no?
Yeah.
You can, yeah. But, it's cute because people want to say no, but they don't want the person to be upset with them. You don't get to choose both those things, but
Right.
you can say no.
You can.
You don't get to choose how the other person responds.
Yeah.
But when you begin to get coping mechanisms, you're so relieved from wow, I can say no and my life didn't blow up.
Right.
It got uncomfortable, but then you move. You remember we talked about the comfort zone gradually
Yeah.
expanding, and as it expands, then bingo.
Got it.
That's right. And then, so think
awesome.
about these things. 2025 is coming for you, and you really can be very intentional about the areas you want to grow, the areas that you want to involve, the areas where you're like, you know what, it's not bad, but I want an upgrade in these areas. So I want you to think about that. As we pray, Christina will sneak off and
Yeah.
go take us off air, but we'll pray first. Lord, I just thank you. Lord, I thank you for everybody that's listening to this right now and the people, even the people that aren't. But Lord, especially the people that are here. Lord, I thank you that you will just give them a dream. You will give them inspiration about what they can do in their life to improve it next year, and not just improve it because like you need them to improve it, Lord, because you love us just the way we are. But Lord, thank you for the freedom that you want to bring us. And Lord, I'd ask that you'd highlight for everybody here just what area you want them to work on, not what area they think they need to work in, but what area you want to bring them freedom in. Because we don't change ourselves. Lord, you reveal us. You strip off these false beliefs that we have about ourselves that keep us from knowing all that you have for us. Lord, I thank you. I just thank you for everything beautiful you have coming for everybody next year. In Jesus' name, amen.